Yes, Bob Quinn needs to go as well. This is not just a Matt Patricia thing here. Bob Quinn needs to go as well, and I'm going to tell you why. And this is Detroit Lions Talk with MIcroMike. Let's go.
It's LeGarrette Blount here, man, 3-time Super Bowl champion. I just want to give you a shout out to the YouTube channel, MIcroMike, man.
Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch MIcroMike on YouTube.
Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron. Big shout out to MIcroMike and the YouTube channel, man.
Keep on talking everything Detroit Lions, and I just got to remind you, man, happy wife, happy life.
Before we get into this video, folks, if you are not a subscriber, hit that big red subscribe button. Trying to get to 9,000 subscribers, and currently I'm fairly close. With your help, I can get there. 60% of you are not subscribed. Hit that big red subscribe button, and we can make it happen together, and let's get it done. It's not just Matt Patricia that needs to go, folks. Bob Quinn needs to go. Bob Quinn is the guy that hired the guy that made our franchise die from the inside. It is important for him to go. And I'm going to tell you, a franchise builds upon building a team. You have to draft correctly, and you have to draft not just in the first couple rounds, but in the later rounds as well. You got to make a lot of moves in free agency. You got to do a lot of things to put a team together. The general manager has a lot of responsibility, and the ultimate failure or success falls upon him or her to run a team. And when it comes to Bob Quinn, this failure of decisions that's been made has resulted in this franchise being right now 4-7, very possibly a 4-win season here with another top 5 draft pick. And while this ad is about to take place, because one is going to take place, let me know, what was the worst draft pick Bob Quinn has done as his tenure as Lions general manager? Take the time while this ad is taking place, go in the comment section, and let me know. Again, it could be a first-round pick, it could be a 7th-round pick. It doesn't matter. Tell me what draft pick you think was the worst one, and it hurt our franchise while this ad is taking place. That is unacceptable, especially when the team was 9 wins, when they decided to fire Jim Caldwell, as well as bring in Matt Patricia. So it's important to understand that. He's made some good draft picks, right? You get the Frank Ragnau's of the world. Good draft pick, Kenny Galladay's, okay? But there has been a lot of issues here. When we look at the Tabers, screwing up that 2nd-round pick. Kerryon Johnson, screwing over that 2nd-round pick. Huntley, you draft him just to release him. He goes to another team. You know, there has been a lot of decisions in these draft picks that's hurt us. That has hurt us. And Jelani Tavai is looking like he's not panning out. You can't do that and be a successful franchise. You just can't do it, especially if you're the Detroit Lions. You need to have really good players come in here to help out. If you look at what we did before with our build in 2009 and to 2014, you had Ndamukong Suh, you had Matthew Stafford, Nick Fairley, you had DeAndre Levy. You had a lot of pieces around there. Some of them, you know, didn't work out as fully, and then you have injuries, this, that, and the other. With that said, you have to strike these deals. And you got to get the 1st-round picks, the 2nd-round picks, the 3rd-round picks. Because if you don't do that, guess what? Guess what? You can't turn around and draft the replacements of your good players that hit free agency. You have to go and spend money in free agency. And when you go spend money in free agency, you don't get a conditional round draft pick. That is what has hurt this team. You build through the draft. You build through the draft. It's simple math. If you look at the good teams, you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, you look at the Baltimore Ravens, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you build through the draft. When their players are good and their inability to re-sign those players, they let them hit the open market. They can a conditional 3rd or 4th-round draft pick or 5th-round draft pick. They take that capital, reinvest into the draft, and pick up another player to replace them. That is what you do. And we have not had that ability. we have had to go into free agency, and we have had to add players to big contracts that are not panning out to that size, i.e. Trey Flowers, i.e. Halapoulivaati Vaitai. Okay? They're not living up to the expectations. Why? Because you had no other choice with the lack of talent. They had to go get there. And you get... And another issue is when you get free agents, you're signing free agents that are injured. Desmond Trufant. I explained last offseason, do not sign free agents that are injury prone. Why? The best ability is availability. And it's come to hurt us with Desmond Trufant. We got a big contract player, a little over $9 million, that's never on the field. You can't do that and be a successful franchise. You cannot replace talent, right? And put that replacement of talent on the team, expect them to do well when they're not on the field. You just can't do it. That was Bob Quinn's doing. And he deserves fault for this. I will do a segment about Sheila Ford and the Fords. Don't worry, it's coming. But I'm talking now about Bob Quinn and why he needs to be fired. So you got draft picks. You've not done enough to draft players to really be doing a quality job for this team. Bad free agents, Jesse James. Bad contract, Trey Flowers. Desmond Trufant. Halapoulivaati Vaitai. These players have not done enough to elevate a team. Period. You have to put talent around the team. That was clearly not the case here. Falls upon Bob Quinn. What else? Obviously, his major issue was he decided to hire Matt Patricia. That was a big mistake. It will be the ultimate downfall of him as general manager. Instead of doing a full-scale interview process where you interview a bunch of applicants, you're not treating everybody differently. You treat them the same. You went and you hired your buddy. You went and you hired your friend. How is that working out? Another ad is about to take place. Hit that like button. Again, I love doing these informal polls, and that like button will tell me what you think. Do you think the final nail in the coffin was Bob Quinn hiring Matt Patricia? Hit that like button and let me know. Is that the final nail in the coffin for him to be let go as GM of the Detroit Lions? I want to see. Maybe there's people out there that think he should be here. Maybe there's people I want to give him another chance, but I want to see from the fan base right now. From the last informal poll we got from the last video I did, we had a lot of people wanted Patricia gone immediately. So let's see it now. While this ad taking place, go ahead and hit that like button. He hired Matt Patricia. Big mistake. You had a chance for possibly Mike Vrabel. A lot of us liked Mike Vrabel. I did as well. I never thought it was a good idea to hire a head coach who had a shirt on with Roger Goodell as a clown face. What leader of men does that? What leader of men does that? It instantly comes into a franchise and says, you all suck. Everything you've done was worthless. Listen to me because I'm the smartest man in the room. Nobody likes that. Not going to happen. You don't have to get rid of all the players in the world to specifically get your players in for your scheme. You shouldn't have to do that. A good coach, a good leader of men, will utilize the talent that is around them and put them in positions to succeed. That's what you do. You look at the talent. What does this player do better? What is this player? What is the negatives of this player? And let's make sure that we kind of shield that, right? We kind of avoid putting that player in that position to fail. We got to put this player in position to succeed. They have not done that. What they have done with this roster is trying to put a square peg into a round hole, and it doesn't work. And it doesn't work. And when you have a mentality of I know everything and you don't, and you continue to lose, nobody wants to deal with you, and that is the case. And that was Bob Quinn's doing. That was his doing. He deserves the fault going forward. It's very important that the Ford family, Sheila, make sure you understand this. Don't believe the little farce that's going on. You need to be competent, and you need to terminate the general manager, in my opinion, and start and get a competent individual in here. How do you do so? You get people that know the game of football, and you make sure that they're with the interview process. You find great minds to help you out with the interview process. You don't do it yourself. That's not how this thing should work. You want to get the greatest minds, and you want to look at franchises that has succeed in drafting. Look at those franchises. Again, like I've said before, the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, very successful at drafting. Look at those franchises. I also like the Minnesota Vikings. They have drafted well. The product on the field may not be there, but there's a lot of good draft picks that they have done, in my opinion. Get the great minds that can evaluate talent and is not afraid to do so. Not afraid to do so. Don't be afraid. If there is a quarterback there with that first pick of ours, whether it be a top 5 draft pick, if there is a quarterback there, such as a Trey Lance or a Zach Wilson, pull the trigger. I want a GM that can do that and will not be afraid. Why? You put the best players on your team via talent from the draft. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate. We need a GM with some cojones, and you need to look at a successful franchise, a successful individual who's run a franchise to bring this team out of the dumpster fire that it has been in for a long time. I've said it before and I say it again. There's certain type of individuals you need to bring into a franchise. I thought when Cleveland took their quarterback, that was the perfect fit for the Cleveland Browns because that franchise was in a dumpster fire. He had that moxie. Joe Burrow to the Cincinnati Bengals. He had that moxie. Obviously got hurt. But to me, he's an individual that can bring that out there. We need to get an individual for that to run the Detroit Lions general manager position. No questions about it. In the upcoming videos, folks, on Sunday, live for the NFL Red Zone, make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. We're going to have some fun, have a great time, and as soon as the breaking news happens for the Detroit Lions terminating Matt Patricia and or Bob Quinn or both, that will happen. With that said, folks, adios.